you slow down, wait for me.
Oh, wow, it's pretty rocky here, hey. Hey, slow down on the rocks, baby. It's dangerous in there. Oh my God, baby, the bloody Lord and what just missed you. Holy bloody mother of God, Jesus fucking my God, baby, come back, the Lord of all nearly hit ya. Oh my God, baby, you alright?
Oh my gosh, I love that video. I hope that lightning was not too loud for you guys. It was quite loud.
Now to
wow, it's just hilarious. How are we, everyone? How are we? We're still waiting on Bancroft. He is stuck in a meeting. Oh my God, baby, be careful, the rocks. Very funny. All right, let's say hello to chat. Ryan Cardinal, good to see you. Eric Weathers, Battle Brick Road, good to see you, mate. Jasper, I see you there, appreciate you. Mortal V, Robert Shepherd, poster is in the mail, Robert. Jason Black, how you doing? I was great. Sage, scrolling down. Beampad, good to see you getting around, man. Good to see you getting around. Dave Brink, Genuine Comics, Tommy Sarkinen. Let me know how I did with that one. Scrolling down. Mo Biggs. Your helmet came unstrapped. It's not safe. Do you want me to do it up, Mo? There we go. It's all good. I'll explain the hat in a minute. Mel B's in the house. Jose Garcia, passion for drawing. Stephen Rockwood, the beginning of the end of what? Well, we'll get into that when Bancroft finally gets in here. He's doing work, apparently. As you can see, I'm wearing the hat, the helmet, 500 subscribers. It happened. We're currently sitting, I think it's like 517. Let me have a quick look while I've got you all here. 517 subscribers. How crazy is that? And it's all thanks to you wonderful people in the chat right now. So yeah, as I said, when I hit 500, I have to wear the hat for a week. And I wish I hadn't said that because I actually hate having things on top of my head that's not my mohawk. So there we go. It's a whole week of this, starting from yesterday, technically. And how are you guys? What is happening in your life? What are you guys saying? Tommy says I pronounced it perfectly. Thank you. I try. Actually, not too bad about pronunciations. Bancroft says sorry. I'll be here soon. Thank that helmet. It is pretty sturdy, which is always good. What I wanted to do quickly is just give a quick update on Replicator and the Lucent, but Bancroft's not here, so that makes that really difficult. Passion says this is already better than Bancroft's stream earlier. I didn't actually watch it today. I didn't watch it. Was it a stinker, Passion? Is that what you're saying? Bancroft, late and gay as always from Mo Biggs. Jasper actually gave us a couple of talking points today, so it's funny. We're going to talk about that. Imagine everything Rob could have accomplished by now if he had that helmet as an infant. Funny story. I had really low self-esteem during high school. I know that's going to be hard for you guys to believe, and I could not bring myself to wear a stack hat when riding my bike just because I thought, man, the kids think I'm so uncool as it is. If I put a stack hat on top of this head, it's just one step too far. So yeah, I used to like drive down the road without a hat on. Completely unsafe. All right, let's have a look at what's going on here. So as you guys may or may not know, we've colored all of Replicator 3. Like, it was all done. What Bancroft is doing now is he's going over the colors and we made some edits as well. And he's just improving them. So let's have a look, because it's actually looking really sick. So as you can see here, this is page 1. It looks crazy good. It's really starting to look like a proper comic now. Let's just, what are they saying here? But then the cops fine you. Yeah, I always managed to get away with it. We had, where I lived, we had a massive hill that went onto a main road, and we used to like fang down that road and just cut straight onto the main road into traffic. Like, kids, man, you're so stupid when you're a kid. Now you're a man. And Rob, you could have been cool in school if you didn't ever say anything. Man, I wish. Wouldn't that be nice? Here's page 2. Again, looking great color work by Bancroft as well. I mean, yeah, it's really looking top notch. So yeah, this is why we're behind, because we got it colored and the colors were good from Corey, but they just needed balancing a bit more. And Bancroft this is kind of, it's not his usual style, as you know. He's got his own style for the Lucent, so he's had to adapt to this and change the way he does things a little bit. And he's doing a perfect job at it. He's really killing it. So these are like the first couple of pages. Then you've got the double page here, which is going to take forever to load. But again, you know, I'll probably show you guys the before and after, because we made edits to the line work on this page. Like, all this detail here was way too sparse. And it didn't have any sense of scale. So we've made those changes, and it looks a lot better. This one, which you've seen recently, again, fantastic work. We added this red lightning to this panel, actually, just for better storytelling, and God, it looks fantastic. So yeah, that is that. But the latest one he's done is this page here. Again, fantastic. Look at the light from these computer screens. It's just like the reflection up of this light here on his face, and the glow of these soldiers here. So that's what we're working on. As you know, Bancroft has a day job. He's fulfilling the Lucent. Well, he's about to fulfill the Lucent. He's very busy, and he's fitting this in whenever he can. Again, here's another absolute banging page. So really top stuff. Mo Big says, you really don't notice how much Bancroft carries the show until he's not around. Not so much by anything he does specifically, but by him blabbering occasionally gives Rob more time to focus on chat. Yeah, so that is the Replicator update. It is taking a little time, but when we get to the end of it, it's going to look beautiful. It's going to look like a proper comic book. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see it in print, and I know you guys want it, and you want it on time, and I understand that. But if I sent it out on time, it wouldn't be up to the standard that you guys expect and deserve. So yeah, that's that. We'll have a look at Bancroft's in a second, because he's doing amazingly well. She Omnibus, $72,931. How crazy is that? That went off like a rocket. It went from 0 to like 40,000 in a couple of hours on Ethan's stream. Absolutely crazy. GK1, hail chat. Hello. It's a very long road until the next Rob 10th. It is. I know. Why is Rob alone? Because Bancroft's dropped the ball, Leroy. He's left me all here. Isn't Rob 10th like leap year? We only do it so many years. That was the initial idea, that they do it every 4 years. But, you know, 4 years is a long time. Jeremy Burt's, hail chat. Poor Rob has to carry the entire show now alone. And that's just his IGG one. Would need to add this Kickstarter to that to get the full total. So does he have a Kickstarter running at the same time as his Indiegogo? Is that what's happening? That's pretty cool. Is that right? Let me know. Yeah, so we've hit 652 backers. That's really cool. $40,503. Very cool. Very amazing. Very late, Michael Bancroft. How are you?
11 minutes. Not that bad.
Mate, I carried a show for 11 minutes. I think I deserve some sort of reward.
Well done. Well done. Yeah, I mean, everyone needs to do it eventually. They're not my best shows, I must admit, when I'm by myself. But, yeah, how'd you go?
Not too bad. I have, as you know, the problem of just flying through topics, right? I'm very quick.
What have you done already?
No, I haven't done any of them. But like I watched, Joe had that Australian show last week where he was talking about Australia or whatever. And he managed to stretch that out for an hour. If that was my show, that would have been done in 5 minutes and it would have been game over. But
I believe you do tend to yeah, I don't want to be too rude in my language. You tend to finish early. Let's say it like that.
Oof. Mo Big says he started the Kickstarter the day after the Indiegogo. That's interesting. Has he done that before? I don't follow Kickstarter much anymore.
Who are we talking about? I don't know.
Billy Tucci. He launched his She Omnibus Kickstarter a day after the Indiegogo.
Yeah, every time he does Kickstarter, he goes, "I hate Kickstarter." But
does he?
Yeah, but he's got a lot of readers who back him on that platform, so I completely understand it. Once you're there and you've got these numbers, yeah, I mean, you're kind of turning your back on those readers, because that maybe how they know about you or where they know you from. I don't know.
What was his Tommy? What was his total on Kickstarter? What was that again? I'm watching the stream with no sound. It really gives Rob that special needs feel. Thanks.
He's already got 22,000 pledged on Kickstarter already from 184 backers. I mean, that's you're asking a lot to say, Billy. Just don't worry about it.
Yeah, Billy. Just you don't need that $22,000 in a day.
Yeah, and the 184 backers. And we know that there are people who don't back on Indiegogo, and vice versa.
Jasper says there's going to be more 90s indie IP collected into HC. Top Cow just released The Darkness Volume 2 HC on Kickstarter, and Pit is coming later on. Is Pit coming, though? Is Pit coming? I don't know if it is. It's not what I heard the other day.
Oh, the Omnibus?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
I heard that he didn't have the files anymore.
It's a guaranteed, because it's an Omnibus, it's going to be more expensive, you would think. Yeah. It's a guaranteed six-figure campaign, guaranteed. So considering all the work is done, surely they can pay some people, I don't know how much it costs to do all that artwork. And that's a job. People out there need jobs. So
I think Ethan was saying that they would need to get high-res scans of all the books and put it together.
Because they don't have the original art. You would need to do a professional quality scan of each page. And then you would essentially, I think all you would pretty much need to do, it depends how it was printed. We're talking the 90s. Yeah.
GK1, guys, hear me out. Rob looks like an Australian sling blade. Am I crazy? What's that?
Sling Blade.
Do you know
I
what
know
that
it's
is?
probably a DC character that I'm not aware of.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Hang on, it's a 1996 movie. Sling Blade. No, that's probably not it. Sling Blade comic. Okay,
All right,
character.
While you're doing that, I'll keep reading these comments. Tommy says Tucci also got the Project We Love tag on Kickstarter, so he's promoted there by the staff. Good to see. Yeah, that is really good to see. I actually hate that Project We Love, but the fact that Billy got it is fantastic. That's really, really cool. There are 20,000 reasons for Billy to put that project on Kickstarter. Yeah, exactly.
Did you do it, Rob?
I've been there before. Yeah, it's tough, man.
Would you do a pie chart?
No more pie charts.
Done with the pie charts?
Done with the pie charts.
I think he's calling you some kind of weapon.
Sweet.
If you want to share my screen.
Always.
Or maybe he's calling you this guy. Maybe he's calling you this guy. There's a movie called Sling Blade, and maybe he's saying this is you. I mean, it would make sense. There you go. You're an Australian version of this guy. I mean, yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Look. That's you. That's you saying what grinds your gears.
He looks really intelligent, this guy, though.
I want to watch this. I want to know what he's saying. Is that Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
he changes his body every single friggin' movie he's in. I can never recognize him from one to the next. He's like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Eric Weathers, what sort of damage is that helmet doing to the Rob Hawk? Mike is just caught up on this whole Sling Blade thing.
Yeah, sorry, I got swept away.
Not to say that none of those people would back the IGG if he wasn't on Kickstarter or vice versa. Would you do Kickstarter, Michael? That's the question.
They took down the Black Lives Matter thing, which isn't to say they're not going to put it back up or put up something equally egregious in the future, so that your campaign is right there with the political slogan like that you disagree with right there on your campaign.
Yeah.
But having said all that, I'm not really one of the guys who was just like, I'm going to cancel everything because, some corporation did some BS thing. I understand how corporations work. Someone makes a decision. There's tens of thousands of other people in that corporation who didn't make that decision and who disagree with it. And then on top of that, if you deny yourself access to these things via principles, there's literally nothing you could enjoy anymore in the world.
You mentioned the other day, and it kind of stuck with me, that you couldn't get into Spider-Man comics again.
Mm-hmm.
That you said something along those lines, and I had a thought, and I don't know if this is right. It's probably the same reason why I can't get into new Star Trek, because I don't know if it's going to be the show I loved. And if it's not, that's too hard for me.
What show, sorry?
Star Trek.
There's a new one.
There's Picard.
Oh, right. You're talking about
Discovery.
Watch Discovery.
What?
I must have missed something there. Start the thing again. I must have missed the question. Sorry, okay. I've just been in a meeting for 2.5 hours straight. You know what that's like?
Painful, I'd imagine. Just like this conversation that we're having right now.
You're the one who brought up Star Trek. I mean,
I'm saying when you said that you couldn't get into Spider-Man comics, right? It might be the same reason why I can't get into the new Star Trek, because I don't know if it's going to be the Star Trek I love.
Right.
You got it?
Now I'm getting it. Now I got it.
Damn.
I don't know if it's the same thing. I don't look at this. I still enjoy TV shows a lot, like good TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
I think that my not being able to get back into Spider-Man has something to do with the superhero comic genre thing. You know, I think the way that they're done now, just the medium itself isn't. I just kind of over that. This sort of your characters exist in this haze where they're neither this or that. They can be rebooted at any time, and I just like I'm not really interested in that anymore in a way that I might have been in the past, or didn't care about in the past. Whereas TV shows don't really seem to do that. Usually, you know, the series starts, it goes on for however long it goes on. It's either good or it's bad, and then it ends. You know, you don't just stop the series. Oh, it's season 7. Now all of a sudden we're starting again. We're starting from the beginning, but it's different actors now. And you know, we're completely rewriting key elements that you loved. So I think it's the comic book medium itself that is failing, and not so much what's in there. Because I've seen some fantastic art. Like I love what's his name?
But is it failing because you don't know what the story is going to be?
No, I'd be interested in maybe. I don't know. I mean, I tried to get it. Your boy Zach used to rave about some Spider-Man. Was it Richard Pace? I can't remember. Some Spider-Man books, and I tried them, and you know, they're all right. I don't know. I think maybe it's just the time has come for me. I read him when I was between 10 and 16.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I moved on.
Mo says the character, of course, sling blades are quite a bit sharper than Rob.
I've never heard of these things, sling blades. I wonder what they're for.
Can you guys tell us what it is? Is it some American thing that we should know, or is it?
Well, it's a movie called Sling Blade. Chips
but
asking. Thank you, Mo. And it's also some kind of big knife weapon thing.
I love potatoes. Is there a certain accent you want me to do? Rob, please say, I don't reckon I got any reason to kill anybody.
Do it in your foghorn leghorn.
Oh, what about my Batman voice?
No, foghorn leghorn.
I see. I don't reckon I got no reason to kill nobody.
You nearly got that right.
Nearly got it. Have you guys...
Eric Weathers is right. It's your Scarecrow voice, not your Batman voice.
Oh, have you guys for real never seen Sling Blade? Best dark comedy ever.
Oh,
I've never even heard of Sling Blade.
Never heard of it, but we have our own best dark comedy ever, and it's called Chopper. And if it's better than Chopper, I will be surprised.
LL, they millennials don't know Sling Blade. It's a good movie. Rob, please say French fried potatoes. Done. Kickstarter.
Are you a millennial, Rob?
What year is that from? No, I don't think so. I don't
identify
X.
as a millennial.
Aren't I? I don't know. Kickstarter has triple the foot traffic. It's not a bad idea from Eric.
So my point earlier was, you know,
there was a point.
We've sort of stayed off Kickstarter out of principle for a long time. Whereas, you know, we still participate and buy from and, you know, get involved in all sorts of different companies. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube right now. A site that constantly bans and censors people for ideological reasons. You know, we have to watch what we say. We have to make sure our jokes aren't too racy. Yet we're here. We're participating. We're giving them money. You know, all that sort of stuff. So maybe it is time for all of us. I think it would work best if a lot of us went over there.
Okay.
And did like a Kickstarter raid.
That's not a bad idea. I've got 2 points. One, I don't mind if someone's an asshole, right? I don't like it when someone pretends to be a good person, but they're an asshole. That's Kickstarter to me. They have all these high and mighty morals, yet when it comes down to
They
it,
say they do, yeah.
yeah, all they care about is money. And even if it screws over backers, I've seen it in comics on Kickstarter. It happens. The second point is John Malin, Coach Malin. I think he doesn't like the idea of us going over to Kickstarter because what we've got on Indiegogo is solidarity. We've got our own like niche, our own market. If some people go over to Kickstarter and others don't, what's going to happen then?
I don't know. I haven't thought that far. See, people agree that there's no reason why we shouldn't be over there trying to make more money as creators. What's Mortal V say?
All right, there's lots of comments. Where is Mortal V? I think it's not necessarily just people trying it so much as they are known for stopping people on their platform for ideological reasons. So far, IGG hasn't done that I know of for now.
And they also promote people based on ideological reasons again as well. Whereas Indiegogo seems to be pure meritocracy algorithm. Like if you say you're interested in comics, the top comics will be a mixture of the very most recent, like who's launched that day or who's ending that day, and the most popular. So you'll get a Cyberfrog toy right next to a campaign that just launched that has 4 backers at the very top trending on that day, which I really like. I think that's a really positive thing. And as anyone who's done a campaign can tell you, there's a real movement on your campaign in those first days and last days, and surely it has to have something to do with the visibility of the campaign.
Jasper says, do you want to put more food on the table or be Malin's best friend? I think the point that Malin is making, that if we do this, right, it will end up that we all have less food on the table. I don't know if I agree or disagree. I think that's what he thinks, though. But he's not here for me to ask him to go into it. So,
but wouldn't the point? Yeah, the point is no one would be abandoning Indiegogo, and everyone, I assume, would be putting their campaigns up after their Indiegogo campaigns. So it's not a thing of taking anything away from Indiegogo. It's merely expanding into a whole different market and finding new readers that don't go on to Indiegogo. They're not there. That's not their site. In the same way that I don't go on to Vimeo to watch videos. If you put your videos up on Vimeo, I'm not going to see them. But in the same sense, the only difference is, as Eric Weathers pointed out, there's 4 times the foot traffic over there. And I wouldn't. I mean, I don't do it anyway on Indiegogo. It's not like I said, like Comicsgate presents, Back the Lucent, F you to the SJWs or anything like that. It's just the Lucent. I don't. It's not. So, I mean, I don't see why there would be any kind of backlash or anything.
I mean, I'm going off old like information, right? When I was on there, it was before Comicsgate, and that's probably like 4 years ago for me. And it was very much, your prices are too high. No one's going to pay that for a comic. I don't know if that's accurate anymore. I mean, Billy's probably charging the exact same what he's charging on Indiegogo, I'd assume, and people are buying it. So, I mean, it's not accurate, I guess. I guess you could do it. Beanpad says, why give Kickstarter business if they block campaigns for specific reasons? Well, because you could make more money. That's the argument.
And my answer to that is, why give any company money? There's not a single company, Indiegogo included, out there that I think politically agree with. Not a single company that hasn't done something
Oh, mate,
that I find to be offensive.
they're all the worst. What really shits me is
Some
Pride
of them are
Month.
better than others. Indiegogo is one of them.
Yeah.
But
Some are
they've
better than
still
others.
done some things that I look at and go, really?
But
Yeah.
there isn't. I don't think there is a company that wouldn't stab you in the back for money. And you look at Pride Month, right? And all these companies are like, yeah, gay pride, we love it. Yet they have separate companies in places like the UAE, for example. And it's like, well, do you really believe that, or are you just saying that? And same with Disney. They edit out stuff for China. It's just ridiculous.
Ben and Jerry's is not wanting to sell their ice cream in Israel, but they sell it in China. You know, it's all hypocrisy. It's all nonsense. There's Dave has a good comment here. Genuine Comics.
Yeah,
Well, you might want to show Mo's too because it's funny.
Let me get to this one. Yep, Kickstarter after for a variant. How would that go down though, Eric? If you do a variant on Kickstarter, would the people on Indiegogo be pissed because they can't get that variant now? So that's something I've thought about too.
Well, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can just offer the same offering.
CG should be welcomed everywhere. Bancroft is making my point. What I would like to know is if the person after Camilla Zahn is the same, different, or same. Let's go invade Reddit en masse. A couple of people from CG have snuck in there. I'm sure they'll take everyone. Oh, mate, Reddit. I found a thread today, Bancroft, about the I am not Starfire thing. I don't know if we want to get into it, but someone presented a really one-sided view on why people are outraged against it, and it had 4,500 upvotes. So this is the kind of information that's getting put out there, and people are like, oh, okay, cool, let's like that. That makes sense. Running campaigns is exhausting. I'll stick to IGG so I still have time to actually produce comics. That's a very good point.
That's the one, okay? You don't have to necessarily run a campaign. All right? You can, but you could also just put it up there, let people know on social media, leave it there, and whatever you get is what you get. I'm not saying you have to go out there and really, stomp as hard as you normally would. It's kind of like an icing on the cake thing. So yeah, if the idea of going back into full-on campaign mode is too much, just chuck it up there. See what happens. It's like fishing. Just throw the line in the water, see if anyone bites. You wouldn't want to be investing a lot of money. I wouldn't imagine. But like for a guy like me, I've got the stuff now. It's all printed. You whack it up on Kickstarter, and you run the campaign. Just kind of runs itself. Who knows? Maybe you'll get 5 backers. Maybe you'll get 50. I don't know. Maybe you get more. Billy Tucci seems to do quite well, although he's running them together, so that's a bit different.
Jose Garcia, some of my audience in Mexico has problems with the IGG payment, have asked me for Kickstarter for months. Also, my Emanation peers only back Kickstarter for payment stuff mostly. Yep. Jasper says we've got to start evolving out of this 2018 mindset. Yeah, maybe you might be right, man. The big Reddits ban you immediately if you mention CG campaign's not worth it. That's the thing.
How do they know what's a CG campaign?
Well, I don't know how they know, but that's the thing. They're run by people, right? It's kind of like a Facebook group. You start a Facebook group, you control it. It gets big, and then you control what direction it has. So, comic books on Reddit is completely 100% anti-CG. Like you can't talk about it, you can't mention it, you can't discuss it. You bring it up, you get banned. Ask Ryan Blue Thunder. It's happened to him. It's happened to me too. I haven't been banned. I've been warned not to talk about it. This is when I first joined CG, and it's just like the only way it would work is if we went over and started our own CG subreddit. But I don't know if there's any point to it, honestly. What do you think, Bancroft?
I know nothing about Reddit. I don't know how it works. I don't like the look of it. It looks like it was designed in 2006. It looks like it hasn't changed since then. It's confusing. Twitter works just fine.
Massive traffic though on Reddit. It really is massive traffic.
Well, by the sounds of it, not the kind of traffic that would be interested in Comicsgate stuff.
And that's true. Like, and there's
Didn't they ban the big Donald Trump one? Like, anyone that they can label as not far left gets axed. So,
and there's lots of crazy people on there too. Like, I mean, you think there's crazies on Twitter and Facebook? There are crazies on Reddit for sure. Do you guys know the ideals of who you buy groceries from? No, I don't. Guys, just hire a couple of sensitivity readers. Isn't it worth it for a chance of being in comic shops? I want creators to make as much money as possible. Sick of the corporate agendas. Tommy says running a 20 plus 20 day on IGG, then 30 on Kickstarter for a variant, simple enough and does not leave people out. You can't launch a Kickstarter for a product that already exists, so you'd have to do a variant. Very interesting. I don't need to agree with everything a company does, but giving more eyes to a company that targets you is insane. That's an interesting point too.
Well, are they still targeting us? Is that a thing? I don't know. That's that I'm asking as a question.
Eric Weathers, what if you did IGG first variant on Kickstarter and then offered a secret perk on IGG later for the Kickstarter cover? Everyone happy? Maybe. Tried with my first coloring book, got some heat for that. It failed on Kickstarter. What about something like the Comics Are For Everybody Twitter account? They promote all comic projects.
Yeah.
I don't know where
Tompa, whatever.
Is that
Great guy.
Yeah,
it's
he's
Comics For
fantastic.
Everyone.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm pretty sure that's someone in chat. Actually, I'm not gonna name them, but I think it is. I mean, what about a Kickstarter shell that runs comic projects for multiple creators? Lots of comics pirate on Reddit. Those people don't pay for shit. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm told the Nintendo Reddit is full of bottom feeders that squelch any criticism. Probably all of them, I'm guessing. Have they apologized and opened their arms to us is a real question, Bancroft.
Well, that will never happen. That's not going to happen. Ever.
Did you know
a trillion years for that?
Did you know this, Bancroft? I am Tompa.
Hello, Tommy. I probably did at some point, and I may have forgotten. So there we go. Fantastic.
George is in the house. Good to see you, George. Man, I don't know where we ended up on that.
On what?
Will you do a Kickstarter?
Well, if it sounds like I have to make a whole new cover, I mean, probably not.
You need to make a new cover. You need to have a variant, at least one.
Why?
Because I think you should.
Maybe I will. Maybe I've got an idea for the cover, and it doesn't really fit with the second book. It fits more with this book, so maybe I will.
Maybe a second chance.
Yeah, but I did print quite a lot of copies, so.
Bancroft, since you were late, I did a quick update on Replicator. So what's the quick update for the Lucent?
Update is I got another backer.
Yeah, 877, man. That's crazy. That has jumped up so much.
Yeah. Remember we were just celebrating the 800 the other day. I was going to say, says I could put a moon on the cover. There you go. The Kyle Ritter. Just whack a moon on it. Whack a moon on everything. Update is actually just today got the proof back from your printer.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah.
They nail it.
The quality of the print and everything is great. The lightness is great. It's shifted a little yellow. So
Okay.
I'm gonna have to just go in and just make some adjustments. But man, I sent it to him. I'm gonna say, I don't know, 2 days ago. Already got a print. Already got a proof.
Wow.
The man's fast. The quality. I mean, your books. The quality is impeccable.
Yeah, the quality's
And for
fantastic.
anyone who doesn't know, when you print digital, the proof that you get, the physical proof, is exactly like what you get with the printed thing. It's not like with offset where there's slight color variations and lightness and darkness and all that sort of stuff that stresses you out and makes it so you wake up in the middle of the night in sweats. So yeah, I'm getting this reprint done all digital, no stress. It's going to cost a little bit more, but that's all right. Did Mixon do good for the preview floppy refund? Yes and no. They gave me a refund, but I didn't. I didn't get the refund on the shipping, so I have to eat that, which is
Really?
yeah, that sucks. But it is what it is. I'm not going to print overseas anymore. I mean, I don't care. That's never happening again. Lesson learned. And I actually learned that lesson back in 2009. But I'd hoped, I know printing has evolved a lot since even in the last 15 years. So I was hoping that things would be different. But yeah, I think two things I've learned from this campaign: I'm printing digital, and I am printing local. There we go. Even if it adds, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 or more onto the print quote, it's not worth the headache. It's not worth the waiting. It's not worth the uncertainty.
Yeah. I would tell Mixum that's some bullshit, man, and cover the shipping.
What am I going to do? Ride over there in a boat and whack them on the head with a
Nah, just email. Email. That is bullshit. I mean, I could understand if the books got there in perfect. No, I couldn't understand anything because they screwed up everything on that. They should.
I don't know.
They
what
should
was
cover
going
the
on
shipping too. That's
what was going on there.
Love the quality of Replicator. Cheers, George.
It is George. It is actually. I don't know what the difference is. It's just really good quality.
Yeah, I mean, people have said it's better quality than some other CG books. I'm not going to make that claim, but people do really like it when they talk about the quality. So
I looked at the digital proof. Like I'm saying, physical digital proof of my Lucent up against the offset, the real version, and the differences are the color shift. So the colors, the hue on the final books is far superior than the digital. But the thing is, you can always adjust, how much you like to get the colors as perfect. The offset, it did print slightly darker than I'd hoped, but you sit under a good light, it's fine. But also the lines, and this is where they say, because for the printers, this is how they get you. They say digital is 95% as good as offset, and I can see what they're saying. But you're going to need to have a magnifying glass, like those really super fine lines. The offset, it is crisper. And so if you're doing a black and white book, go offset every time. You don't have to worry about colors and darknesses and lightnesses and any kind of variations because the lines are crisper. But I mean, we're really talking, you are nitpicking now. It's for me, George is exactly right. You can't put a price on peace of mind, and with the digital, you can just keep getting proofs done until you've got it exactly how you want it, and then they hit go, and it's exactly comes out as you expect it. So,
Jasper says you can have bad results digitally as well, Bancroft.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing that the printer will say to you, and they'll guarantee you will get exactly what you got on the proof. So if it isn't the same, you just throw it back in their faces and say, what's going on. You know?
What? Why are people still using Mix'em?
Mix'em Australia's been great. I think Mix'em Australia, is a small operation. It's a printer. Like, they're just using one printer, you know? They're the broker for one printer. Everything I get is packaged the same way. Everything is the same quality. No complaints. Super quick, super easy. But in the UK and the US, I think they're just, because they obviously have a lot more orders and all that sort of stuff. Like, they're just going to whoever is first in queue, and that's the luck of the draw.
I mean, that point, it seems like you're rolling the dice with Mix'em. You're really playing crabs.
Yeah. I will not be printing with Mix'em for my books at any rate. They're very convenient. I got that too, Rob. Playing crabs. I'm happy with their. I think their prints. I love the paper that they print on. I think it's some of the best quality I've seen. But yeah, this seems like when I came out with my story about what happened. I already knew about art, and then others said, we've had issues with them as well. So it just seems to be kind of luck of the draw with them,
which is a terrible way to run a business.
It's not optimal.
It's like 1 in every 10 packages is ruined.
The main books that I've gotten, there's been a few damaged books, a few damaged copies. Again, they didn't put a piece of paper at the bottom, so all the books on the bottom on all the boxes. The matte laminate is not good. But that's the thing with a printer. They'll say, if the damaged copies doesn't reach 5% of the total order, then it's just whatever,
Passion says I had 5 misprints. Packaging was fine though. Yeah, man, you have to check every copy. I had that last time, like all the books were damaged, but we also had 50 plus misprints, and that was due to the printer being off by like 0.2 of a second, out of sync, and it would just chuck an extra page in there. Just insane. I've asked you this before, but I'm going to ask it again, and this is mainly for the chat. Whenever I hear, how did you guys find Comicsgate? It's always Ethan. It's always, I was watching YouTube videos. I found an Ethan video. I started watching it, and then I joined Comicsgate. Is there anyone else that has a different story to that? Let me know in the chat. I'd actually be interested in hearing that. Has anyone found Bancroft and joined CG?
Someone has said that to me.
Who?
Can't remember.
It's like, yeah.
Someone said I came into CG through Bancroft. Now, I don't know how they found me, but maybe it was just they were watching a video, and then one of my videos was recommended, or maybe it was a friend that said, "Hey, come watch this guy's stream." That sort of thing.
I was following Bancroft back when the Lucent was called Woken. That's how I got in.
I remember Ray. Man, yeah, Ray's been with me a long time. Ray's actually read the thing. So you can ask. You can. Woken's the original name of the book.
Really? So you also you also had a different name for your book.
Well, it started off as the Woken. I mean, it's been the Woken for a long time. And it just, I can actually remember I was sitting there drawing, and I was listening to a Sargon of Akkad video, and he was talking about some women at a university, and they were using the word woke a lot, woke, and they were using it as a verb. And I remember thinking, God, I hope this doesn't take on. I hope this doesn't become a thing.
Yeah.
and it just kept building and building and building. And I was like, oh God, it's going to be a real hassle to change the name of your story. Because, you know, I was publishing on Tapas and Webtoons and everything. And then it just became a thing where it's like, I'm going to have to change the name. Woke is not anything to do with Woken. And it's like people who called their kids ISIS or Harry Potter. You know, you're it doesn't matter if you had it first or what the intention was. It has, you know, you're going to be associated with whatever the general zeitgeist is. So yeah, I mean, obviously, and I started getting comments of new readers on the Woken doing jokes about, oh, this is so woke, haha, you know, that sort of stuff, or get woke and that. And so Webtoons ran a contest for, you know, you could get featured. So I thought, that's it, clean slate, and I just re-uploaded the thing as the Lucent, which I think is a better name.
So Ray, pressure is on. Is it actually any good? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, that's by Ray is still here, so I mean he.
John says, "Yep, me." Mortal V says, "Your boy." A lot of people, it was either your boy or Ethan. Your boy Zach. I heard about all the characters changing in Marvel and found Captain Cummings and Captain Cummings and your boy Zach.
Cummings, there you go. Who
Her
said
name
that?
was
Sorry,
Mel. That was Mo Biggs. Mo Biggs.
Oh, that makes sense.
It was Anna, that Star Wars girl, interviewed Bancroft. Really?
Interviewed me. I mean, I was on streams with her. She didn't interview me. But
Dying Days of YouTube. I followed CG, but only started commenting and catching live streams through Bancroft.
yeah, that was probably it.
Zach, Star Wars girl, EVS. Mine was from an SJW friend on Facebook.
What's saying don't go watch it? Well, that's what happens. You know, people say you got to stay away from. I've heard this before. Stay away from Comicsgate. You know, they're bigots, they're racists, they're this, that, and everything. And people get curious. You know, like if someone says that to me, you got to like, don't go and look at what's over there. You know, the first thing I want to do is go and look over there.
It's like when someone comes to you and go, "Oh, what do you think about this person?" And you're like, "Well, maybe you should stay away from that person." But you don't say that, do you? Because then they might go hang out with them.
Ray said, "Yes, it is." There you go.
Well,
Ray likes it.
I'll get there. I found Zach, then just some guy, then Nerdrotic, all in on Indiegogo. Awesome. Ethan had fewer subs than Nurkish. I don't even know who that is. That's how new I am.
You need to go watch Comicsgate. Is Comics great? There's some really good old Nurkish. There's even the first time Ethan brought Cecil onto Meet Nurkish, because Ethan wanted the two of them to collaborate on Cash Grab. And they were going to before the fallout and everything.
Cecil seems very intelligent. He seems very quick-witted to me.
Yeah, I'm always surprised by I could never do or say the things that Cecil says. It's like he's had a day to think of it and come up with the best, wittiest quote, but it happens in a second.
It's crazy. It's crazy, especially for someone
his
like
knowledge
me.
of comics is unparalleled almost.
Hex Allen, Nerdrotic, then Zach, Zach, the Bogan. I don't know. I was looking for helmets and found Rob from there. Excellent. Found Ethan through Nerdrotic. I figured that's why he must have changed it. Someone found him on Twitter and asked what Aussie CG books to start back in. He shielded himself, you, Dean, and Chemo. Who? What? I've missed something. It's no surprise. Yes, it is. There you go. I wanted to watch Anna's unboxing video of Warts and All, but I could not find it. I don't know if it's still up.
Ethan probably made her take it down.
I subbed to Anna's channel and got suggested to some other channels. That happens a lot too, doesn't it? I'll tell the story if you want. Yes. If yes, Captain Cummings, Micah Curtis, and your boy Nurkish had some ridiculously hilarious videos mocking SJW comics. I suspect Cecil will be a good writer. Nurkish got noticed in CG when he reviewed Zach's original pre-Lost Souls and roasted the hell out of it hilariously. Zach loved it. Very interesting.
Nurkish was very edgy.
Mine was through Aaron Alfeche, the artist. He's like, I'm working on Jawbreakers now. It's Comicsgate. You should check it out. You should join. I'm like, what the hell is Comicsgate? And then kind of like what we were talking about earlier with Kickstarter, I'm like, I'll just chuck it up there and give it a go. And, it did really well. Without heaps of promotion. I was lucky to get on to John's, I think. It was my first ever stream, which is crazy. And yeah. I mean, the rest is history. It's fantastic. Yeah, me too, George.
I've got the Replicator 2 sitting next to me at all times for quick reference, and it's pretty phenomenal stuff.
I found Bancroft on Twitter and asked about Aussie CG books to back his Shield, the Lucent, Replicator, the Embrace, and Company Man. Oh, that's good of him.
Sounds like a nice guy.
I've got a bit of a sticky, difficult question, Bancroft.
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you excited?
Not really. But
why?
I'm working on your book right now, Rob. Just if I seem distracted. Are you happy with that?
Yes, I am actually, because I want to get the book out. A lot of the time, people post art, right? And the art might not be the greatest. Yet the response that is given a lot of the time is, yeah, man, that's sick. It's awesome. I love it. Fantastic. Do you think that is actually counterproductive? And
yes and no.
Let us know in chat too.
It's counterproductive to the artist, but the artist having done it. Sorry, I just read George's comment. So I can only speak to my own, to myself. What was much better for me was positive reactions. So I think the best thing to do for an artist is, if an artist puts up something that you don't think is terribly good, just don't do anything about it. Don't like it. Don't comment on it. If their book, you don't like the art, don't back it. If the artist is, really, really wanting to improve, they'll see that, they'll recognize that, they'll notice it. And if they really try to do something better and it ends up being better and they get a little bit more likes, they'll see that and then they'll continue on that path. If someone were to say something like, oh, this is shit or whatever, on top of getting defensive, I wouldn't have had the tools to be able to take any actions to improve anything. That takes time. So, I'm thinking with my t-shirt designs, with my comic book art, I go back and I look at what I was doing years ago and I'm like, oh man, why did I do this? This sucks. Like, what was I thinking? All that kind of stuff. But I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the eye to be able to see, what's gone wrong. So I do think, yes, telling people whose art really does need work and shouldn't be getting huge amounts of praise, and doing all that doesn't deserve it, is a detriment, because it's not going to help them improve. But at the same time, when someone posts art, taking a big dump on it, is not going to be productive for them. It might feel good for you. It might be funny. I mean, we've all done it. We've all done it to, like, when Marvel puts out something that looks like, a Tumblr artist for 2 years did it. Yeah, but I'm sure that's not really helping that artist get better, if especially if that's the best they can do.
I'm seeing it a lot from other creators though as well, right? And like some people that can really draw, and then someone posts a picture, in like a DM group, and the person that can really draw is like, yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm like, I don't think you really think that, and I think by saying you think that, it's not the truth, and it doesn't help this person. I know for me, when I post a picture in one of those groups, and it doesn't get many likes, that gives me feedback. Even they don't actually have to say, Rob, this isn't that good for this reason. It tells me overall that maybe the image isn't speaking to them. The design is not speaking to them. I don't think it's a good thing, Bancroft.
Hang on a sec. I'm going to use an example here. Yeah, look, I don't know. Maybe the person does like it. I can't, without having a concrete example, I can't really, speak to it. But let me pull something up that I thought about. I was going to share this when I saw Billy Tucci was doing an omnibus for She. And I thought, well, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to post. Hang on a sec. Let me share my screen. And of course, it's not loading. It's just spinning its wheels. I got to hit play. There we go. Is this the famous Australian internet at work? Let me refresh.
God. You're on fire today, mate. Let me read the chat.
I'm having a good day. Take it down. I'll see if I can get the thing to load. I don't know what's going on here.
All right, let me read the chat, because they are saying stuff. Why do you hate artists so much, Rob? Don't love artists. I wish there were more artists in the world doing what they should be doing. It's a sticky subject. Stop talking about my Bancroft displayed profile picture, Rob. It protects Rob from ghosts. That's why he wears it. Kathy said something, you should wrap it in tinfoil. That's actually a pretty good idea. That would really add to the look of the helmet. I like to encourage artists that are improving. It may not be the best, but they are getting better in some cases. Yeah. I only comment negatively on art if I can make it funny, at least to myself. There's the tinfoil, yes. Counterproductive, yes. People won't trust your opinion thereafter. Good point. I don't have this problem. Everyone loves my art. It's
so humble passion.
It's done. The ARO art I get from CG artists for exposure is much better than the ARO art I get for Tumblr for cat food. Some CG artists are a couple of books away from being really good. Yeah, I think so. Solution is show it to John. I don't run my ruin my creativity on how many likes I get for a piece of art. No, that's a good point too. But if you're asking people that are artists if they like something and no one likes it, maybe it gives you an indication of where it actually stands. Maybe artists want to be like Stan Lee, replying to fans, always encouraging and never patronizing. Depends on the situation too. If I draw on a stream, I don't think it's a big deal if everyone only compliments. Just wait till you see BBR4. Sometimes good tweets get overlooked. Wouldn't take low interaction as a sure thing. Yeah, I'm talking about more so like in like a private DM group, like where there's artists in there and, you post your art and people give you some feedback, and maybe they're saying things that they don't actually believe, and I'm only speculating. Hockey, Rob is the bestest person ever. What is you get fan art for one of your characters and it doesn't look really good? How can you not think that's awesome regardless? Different circumstance, but awesome. regardless. Yes.
Well, I was just going to say that's what I'm pulling up.
Oh, okay. Artists need honest feedback from their betters in order to grow. Rob hates artists because every artist he's ever worked with was the love 'em and leave 'em type.
Well
All right.
done.
What do you got?
So this is fan art that I did for Billy Tucci. And I remember doing this, thinking this was the bee's knees. I was so proud of this when I did it. And I thought, I'm going to go back and I'm going to share this on Twitter and, you know, help Billy promote his new omnibus. And then I looked back at it and I was like, starting to see problems and things I didn't see earlier and stuff like that. And I'm like, I really didn't make her very pretty, you know? She looks kind of angry and has a bit of a weird cheek jawline thing or something.
She looks exactly like Ella looks.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. You know, it's a bit of a same face situation, but it's not a particularly pretty drawing of Ella either. But I remember being pretty proud of this at the time, especially when it colors are in. It doesn't really do it very well. But I shared it out there at the time. I put it on. I even got a downvote on YouTube out of 5, you know, and it didn't get much traction. And you know, Billy, I think he liked it or something. He said, "Oh, that's great," as you would do with any fan art, even if you know it needs a lot of work. You say, "Great, awesome," but I remember, you know, I always think about this now, like how as an artist you grow and you start to see things in your art that you couldn't see earlier. And then once you see them, it makes sense as to maybe why it didn't get the traction that you were hoping it would at the time, is all I'm saying. So, you know, I think this is actually a good example of what we're talking about. I don't think anyone shat on it, but it didn't get the response I was hoping for. So from there, you know, I think I you know used that. It's just one of the things that spurs me on to, you know, improve essentially.
So you didn't get the response you were looking for, and because of that, you took that to mean you need to improve, and you use that to improve.
Yeah.
Okay. So if lots of people had just liked that video and said it was really good when they didn't actually believe that,
if
that would have been counterproductive.
50 likes and everyone was like, this is amazing, you know, that wouldn't have been productive. And I had the same thing with my Expendables art, where, you know, eventually a guy did come on and critique the hell out of it right in front of me. And it was kind of awkward, but it was really helpful. It was like, yeah, you know, he's like, you're not.
Was it passion?
No, it was what's his name? Oh, I'm blanking on his name. He does logos and stuff. And he's like, yeah, you got to pay more attention to your anatomy, and you know, that's, yeah, I don't really draw big muscles or anything like that. So he was right. You know, this looks weird here. This, you know, that and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was helpful, but that was much more constructive. And I had the same thing there. Didn't get a response. So you got to think, okay, there's something that isn't clicking here with people. So, you know, you should, I should do something about that. All right. Mortal V's left a comment for me. Hold on.
This is really interesting, and we can kind of tie it into the next one too. My policy is that I provide a critique only when it's requested. Otherwise, I compliment art that I think is good and say nothing about art I don't like. That's kind of that's kind of the point I'm making. I feel like people are saying this art looks good when perhaps it doesn't. What's he said, Bancroft? Because you've distracted me.
Hang on, I'm going to see one comment. Mortal V, I can't see a comment if it's there. It's Mo Biggs. He says, "Don't quit your day job, kid." Let me see if I can find Mortal V's. I can. They hid that on the page, Model V. It just says you're gay. Thank you.
Sumo Thori says that shit, Bancroft. Hockey's got to go. See you, mate.
Yeah, hockey.
Yeah, back to this. My policy is that I provide a critique only when it's requested. I do the same, but I'm kind of of the mind, right? If we want to get better, like if CG wants to get better, if artists want to get better, writers want to get better, why can't we give people critique? Why is it so, what's the word, Bancroft? Frowned upon.
Feelings. You don't want to catch feelings.
It's crazy.
People don't want unsolicited critique most of the time. So yeah, I think it's just that. If you're another creator, the people who are most in a position, is that a way you say something? Are in the best position to give an accurate, constructive critique are usually other creators. So there's that, we've talked about this a bunch, that what is it called? Professional courtesy. Yeah, if it's unsolicited and just, I don't know, it feels awkward.
I show my friends in CG I trust to give me honest feedback, and I say this all the time. You need to surround yourself with people that would do that, not just yes men that tell you everything's good, because it doesn't help you in any way. And I feel like some people do that. I really do. I'll print screen it for you, Michael, if I need to. Perth says, I'll crap on art I paid $25 for and feel ripped off, like stealing Solo. George says, I critique art on Splinter reviews all the time. And yeah, you guys should say exactly what you want to say about anything a creator does, because you're paying them money. Like, you're entitled to do that. If someone requests a critique from me, they'll get one. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, no one seems to be asking for critiques.
It's for the same reason people don't want to go. I said this the other day. People don't want to go to the doctor. They're worried they might find something.
But that's crazy. That's crazy to me, right? Like, I could ask you for an opinion, right, on a piece of art, and you can go, this needs to be changed, that needs to be changed, this could be better. Then I can go and make all those changes, right? But if I don't ask you, I print the book, I ship it out to 650 people. How many of those people are going to say the exact same thing you said? And that's going to hurt me, because then they might go, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. He could have done this better. I might not back the next one. Mm-hmm. That blows my mind. I don't understand it. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, what can I say? Eric has it right. I mean, it feels like it can be a bit mean sometimes if you're another creator to another creator saying, hey, just so you know, you can't draw this very well, and I think you should work on it, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, fans, absolutely. And obviously, if you're running a critique site or an article or something like that, if you're putting out videos, doing critiques, obviously. I hope that if there's something really missing from a book, or something that really didn't come out well, that creator will have people to tell them that. I mean, I hope that. We've had that recently with certain books coming out, and this wasn't really up to scratch or whatever, and I think they got the message eventually from someone, or from many people. I don't know, Rob.
But why are they not making that choice earlier on in the process? Why are they waiting for it to get into backers' hands before taking that feedback. Like they're only hurting themselves. I don't mean to harp on about it. It does get really frustrating. Eric says it could feel mean to be negative on someone's artwork. Yes. I never leave the Rob and Mike show. I just passed out while it's playing. If I'm asked and I don't like it, I'll verify by asking, "Are you sure?" That's great. Sometimes you want critique to grow. Sometimes you just want to have fun. Build your DM for the first and build it for the second. Do not mix them. Very good points. People don't want unsolicited critique, Bancroft. I realize that's directed at me from you, but keep in mind by saying this, you're critiquing my trolling, which I didn't ask for.
I'll keep that in mind.
Eric Weathers may be the best example and he's in chat. I bought Flying Fortress. His art improved immensely between chapter 1 and 7. Yeah, but is that on Eric, George? Is that Eric's doing? Like, were people critiquing him? Like, telling him to improve on this or that? Or is that just something he's taken on himself? Mortal V says, subs to splintering.
Yes.
Eric showed a page off the other day. Fantastic, by the way.
Most improved artist.
A great example regarding personal taste is art in Richard Meyer's new book. I do not like the art at all, but others love it. Someone in chat is a huge fan. I like the art on that book. I think it's great. It's a unique style. It might not be for everyone, but it's well executed. It's well executed. If you don't like it, that's understandable. Bancroft doesn't want creators like Andy Smith to have a chance to grow and improve.
Damn it.
You're relentless.
He got me. He called me out. You got me.
Your art keeps getting better. Keep working hard. I'm psyched for BBR. Please hit like, chat. People need to understand what constructive criticism is and how it can help. And that's the thing, Beanpad, right? There's been times that I just want to reach out and go, hey, man, you can try this a little bit different. I'm not speaking about art in particular. I'm talking about their campaigns, but I don't do it because some people act like children. They really do. They get all huffy and puffy and get upset when you're just trying to help them in the best way possible. Yes, Eric, send it to me. No, I don't see it. It's not there.
You failed for the last time, Eric Weathers.
Please show Eric's art on the stream. Yeah, it's really nice. I like the knife hand art. I do too, Jasper. Very Metal Gear Solid.
You missed a great comment from Mo Biggs earlier.
Oh, mate,
it was about the
really
ginger
good with
hand.
the chat.
Can I read it then?
Yes, I've been really good with chat. Have I not? I've been reading as many comments as possible, and you call me up on the one thing.
Critiques on the ginger root hand actually gained Bancroft more of a following, especially since he leaned into it and didn't get offended. I'm closer to 900 backers now than 800, which is
oh yeah,
which is
just
crazy.
Rub it in, Bancroft.
No. This is where I'm going with this. I jump on streams with Shane Davis, John Malin, Kenneth Rocafort, Ethan Van Sciver. I'm well aware of where I stand on that ladder of artistic talent. So yeah, I have no other option than to lean into it. I've made it clear, I think, from the beginning, at least on my streams, that I'm very much still learning the ropes when it comes to comic books. So you don't have any other option in my mind other than to lean into it and learn from what people are telling you. Yeah, the improvement here from what I've seen of Flying Fortress is astounding. It's difficult to believe it's the same guy.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, I think it's just top notch. I love it. What do you think, chat? You guys like this? Be honest now.
Just everything. The use of shadows. Obviously, the gun is impeccable. The composition, the interesting character design. Yeah, really, really top-notch work, Eric. You know, I mean, this is it. You know, Eric is becoming one of the best artists in CG, which is astounding. You know, he's also quickly becoming another one of the big success stories. You know, now he's a full-on pro in the industry.
Wrong chat. Ryan Blue Thunder's in the house. Great to see you on Leroy's the other day, man. You should do that more often. I hope you do. It was cool. Hard to say it isn't finished yet, but it seems to be coming along nicely. I think it's great. It's going to be interesting to see what the colorist does with it. I love the gun. The gun looks fantastic. Beanpad says amazing art. One thing I wanted to do, Bancroft, is whenever a creator comes in here, just plug their campaign for like 30 seconds. What do you think? Let's do it.
Do it.
Battle Brick Road, Eric Weathers, in-home. He's got 2 of the best covers in CG. Fantastic. And he's only 11 backers away from 1,500. So absolutely insane.
Are you a horse?
I think so.
Is that a thing that you do in your household?
I can also do duck noises too.
You can do a good Donald Duck, I guess.
Yeah, not too bad. But yeah, I mean, Eric's a great dude. Getting to 1,500 backers would be some sort of just incredible achievement. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, so go give it a back. Mortal V will chuck the link in there. He's a good dude. Go check it out. Oh, yet you didn't promote Passion's Doom Fate because the campaign is closed. You got it. Spot on. Let's have a look what his chat's saying. George says, there's an American artist named Mike Zeck who is one of my all-time favorites. No one in the comic book industry has ever drawn better weapons. Eric Weathers is just behind him for weaponry. No lie. Nice angle. The more subs Bancroft gets, the more will trickle down to you, Rob. Thank you.
Is that how it works?
I think so. There is Grave Robbers I drew. I'll bring it up. Jasper gave me some talking points today, and this is something I wanted to ask Chad about before he asked me these questions, right? Are you guys interested in hearing more about like world building and characters and process and that kind of stuff? Or is it just something you're not interested in? What about you, Bancroft?
Not yet. It'll take time. Like I think if we start to get into the weeds, say like Replicator, let's do a show for an hour where we talk, you know, the intricacies of the character development, the world, and everything like that. I feel like that's a discussion for fans. And I think it works really well when fans get, say, George R. R. Martin or J.K. Rowling or whoever it is onto a stage and ask them questions. I think that works really well. I just don't know if we're there yet. You know, if someone's interested in it, great. But I don't know if there's enough. I feel like it's telling, not showing, you know? Because a lot of people, either they haven't read the thing or they've only read 1 or 2 of the books. Because that's all that's out. So, yeah, in time, I think I'd really love to get into that. Because there are some stories and worlds that are being created here that I'm really into. But, yeah. Oh, Noran's just completely contradicting me. So what do I know? Don't listen to me. Listen to Noran.
I enjoy world building streams. Narwhal does a ton of them. Kind of. Rennie was talking about pre-visualization earlier, and I enjoyed it. KSSSS. I'm here to hear more stories of Bancroft as a 20-something-year-old flaming rollerblader myself.
I didn't have rollerblades like this when I was 20. These are for recreation and getting around. These aren't for ramps and grinds. And although it does have a soul plate on it, which is weird. Anyway,
Rob,
we can do
try
that
something.
anytime.
Next time you pitch the Replicator, act like you just saw the movie and loved it, and you're explaining it to a friend and get them to see it with you. Yeah, I could definitely be better at pitching it. That's for sure. Everyone could.
The problem with that is, if the Replicator was a movie or the Lucent was a movie, it would be more books. You know, it would be the series of books altogether, and that's the issue that you run into. So I did a kind of that's why it's so hard. You don't know where to go. I kind of sold Lucent the series more than Waking Dream the book, because Waking Dream is a setup for the series. It's really hard because you're just like, okay, I saw the first 20 minutes of this movie and I want to tell you about it. It's a bit it's difficult, but I agree with the enthusiasm and passion and everything.
Irene did a great stream today on character building. I'm interested in the process, but a discussion could easily give away your story. I am a TTRPG guy, so World's the best. Comics are game material for me. Com set art would be amazing. Jasper said, I meant in a general sense, not talking about your existing books. I would be interested in doing it. I just don't know how you would talk about it that would make it interesting for the fans. Maybe you just have to go into it, Bancroft. I don't know. Maybe someone who's a better streamer should be doing it. Should start it.
People. Yeah. Look, there's you know what they have now? They have world building apps that I would love to actually get my hands on one of these days and start playing around with. Because I think it would be fun to do and helpful and all that sort of stuff. So maybe that could be something we could do on a stream together, and you could chat and it would be interesting, and there'd be something visual. You can make maps, you can have characters and factions and powers and whatever. So yeah, but again, it leads to that point. It could give it could, if you've got a lot of mystery in your story, it could give away everything.
Just be enthusiastic about your book when you're talking about it goes a long way. Yeah. Again, Renee does a great job of that. Reenie,
Ethan. Who else is really good at that? Shane, which is like weird because he sounds, when he talks, he kind of sounds depressed.
Yeah,
but what he's saying is actually really enthusiastic sometimes. So it's a strange thing, but the people who were able to be really super enthused about their books, I think that's the way to go.
It's like I know you guys in chat, you probably do this as well. I tune in to Shill streams sometimes, and it doesn't matter what channel it is. There are always people that are like, and the person's like, what's your book about? And it's like, it's about a guy who goes down to the grocery store and buys groceries, and then something happens on the way home, and like you're done after 20 seconds. It's just so flat. There's no passion. There's no excitement. And I'm not saying I'm great at it. I'm not saying that. But I try.
Yeah, it's hard. Sorry, I'm laughing.
What are you laughing at now?
KSS's comment. That's a good one too, Jasper. No.
Shane
old-
kind of sounds depressed. LOL.
Old Eeyore Davis. All right. It's a time to play Starlight Cats. Oh, I love Shane. I love Shane. He's got an interesting cadence. I'll give him that.
Andy Smith gives the best long form pitch. I was wondering who Rini was. Did I break Rob? Rob's already broken. There's nothing you can do to me, Jasper, that's going to change that. Andy Smith had a hell of a pitch in that new video. 15-second elevator pitch is necessary. I would prefer that, Eric. I would prefer like the people that go on these streams just to go, bullets, blood, and booze, the graveyard robbers, stalker, killer, and this horror western epic, and that's it. They could leave it at that. Show off some art. Maybe slightly elaborate, but I'd rather have that than like a 2-minute, 5-minute pitch that just goes on and on. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you the same, or you like the long-winded pitches?
No, I don't want to. I barely want to hear the elevator pitch. Just show me the art. If I like it, I'll buy it. If I like the story, I'll come back for the second one. That's how I've always bought comics. Spider-Man. I would just pick the most interesting looking comic off the shelf, and I got into Spider-Man. And then eventually, I saw a Ghost Rider. I'm like, wow, that looks cool, and I like the story. Spawn, same thing. Pretty much every book. No one's ever sold me on, oh, that's a really interesting premise. No.
What were those old comic book creators with that depressing crowdfund comic book trailer? That was pretty bad, wasn't it? What was that book? Jasper knows because he brought it to our attention. KSSSS. I thought my guy, my guys down there. Oh God, good one.
Put that wrong.
Strive to pitch with the passion of the girl voiced in Starlight Cat's campaign video. This is something genre. Do you think that's explained or made apparent enough for people when they're buying Comicscape books bankrupt?
I mean, in some cases it is. In some cases, it's sort of like a genre mashup. I didn't land on a genre for the Lucent until after the campaign was finished, because I just couldn't think of one that was appropriate. But I think for the most part, yeah, like you'll see, okay, this is a zombie horror book, or this is a superhero team book, something like that. But yeah, sometimes it's not quite apparent, and it would help, but it can be difficult. It can be difficult to pin it down.
Is it important for you guys in chat to have the genre like right there? Like here, it's in the title. Usually, you'd have something around here. But do you want to know straight away what it is? Like, does that affect?
I think you can see what it is from the logo.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see straight away what this book is. It's a cowboy with a kind of monster twist. Straight away. Others is not so obvious. Are not so obvious.
Ray says that was part of the appeal of the Lucent for me when I initially read it. It was interesting.
Thank you.
Replicator Bancroft, can you check if you guys can you guys check if Camel Moon got blocked by accident? His comments aren't showing up. He just asked me about it on Twitter.
I had Ronnie Scribbles in my chat got blocked too, and I had to unblock him.
How do I unblock him?
You got to go into your YouTube, don't do it here. Don't do it live. You got to go into your YouTube studio settings, community, and then there'll be a list of people who are blocked.
I haven't blocked anyone.
Well, I didn't block Ronnie Scribbles either, but lo and behold, there he was. It's happened before too.
Community.
Mobix.
Yeah.
Mobix says,
Lord Ravener's blocked too. What?
yeah, I don't know what it is. I like. Is it sometimes they write a comment that has a word in it that gets them blocked on that channel? You know, I wouldn't put it past YouTube if they did that.
That's really annoying because I, I've never blocked anyone.
Mobig says, I know the feeling, Camel Moon. The same thing happened to me yesterday on Bancroft's channel. Ah, Paul Mo.
The main picture should usually give you a sense of what the genre is. Yeah, fixed, mate. Good to see you back, Camel. Yeah, you weren't blocked, dude. I mean, not by me, but by YouTube, apparently. Bancroft, did you see the video I played at the very start? You would have liked it. It was going to be our intro.
I'm sorry I missed it.
All right. I'm going to play it again.
I had work commitments.
I'm going to play it again for Bancroft, everyone. So you're just going to have to bear with it. It's only 30 seconds.
Hey, baby, slow down. Wait for me. Oh, wow, it's pretty rocky here, hey. Hey, slow down on the rocks, baby. It's dangerous in there. Jesus, come back here. Oh, my God, baby, the bloody London is missing. Holy bloody mother of God, Jesus fucking my God, baby, come back. The London ball nearly hit ya. Oh, my God, baby.
Oh, man.
That's how they talk in Sydney.
Right, that's hilarious. Yeah, thanks, Mortal V, for pointing that out too.
That was English, George. That's how they talk in Sydney.
That was like full bogan there, George. I think I got blocked from a B-row stream. Is that English? I don't know what it was.
Can I ask the chat something?
Yeah,
this is
sure.
Rob, don't answer this. If I go, what does that mean?
Do I do it a lot? Do I?
No. I want the chat to answer. If I go, do they know what that means?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's an Australian thing or if it's everyone. Okay, cool. I didn't know if it was Australian or if it's everywhere. I wanted to test that. I've been wondering that. Now I have the ability to test. Yeah. There you go. I don't know. Yeah, good. Okay. Good. Yeah, it's like what teenagers do when you say, did you clean your room? They go, and then you go, what's with that attitude?
What's going on? So when you start shipping, Bancroft, do you think?
When I get the 12-page thing printed, which seems like it's going to be pretty quick. I mean, I do have to make a few color adjustments based on his printer. But I mean, it looked pretty good to me. Just, I think it was a little shifted towards yellow, which means I probably need to add in a bit more blue. That's all. So
I think it means you can't type anything. Is that right? Like you just can't see it. I don't know. Actually.
Yeah, I think it means it won't show up. I don't know. He definitely can't. He definitely can't super chat because that's why Ronnie Scribbles was trying to do super chats today and he couldn't.
That's annoying.
It is annoying. It's very annoying.
You can type, people won't see it. Yeah, that must be frustrating. So you were just ignoring me, Rob. Was I? I thought I've done a pretty good job of reading the chat today. I think Leroy would be slightly proud. I don't know. He's a hard man to please. I'm really looking forward to seeing Leroy and George's. What is it, George? Technically, is it a review or a recap of the books you guys have got this year?
Yeah, they're going to do a review of the Lucent too, and then I have to go in there. Well, I mean, I want to go in there, and they're going to tell me everything I did wrong and what I need to do to make it better next time round too. Sorry, I thought that's what you were going on to, but you were talking about something else.
I was talking about the books they've received, Bancroft. I mean, not everything is about you. Not everything.
Not everything, just most things.
Most things, yeah. Pete was on fire into Bear's show tonight. It overlapped Bancroft. Really?
Pete who? Pete Samedi?
Yeah, it must be Pete Smetting. Is there another Pete?
Nice. Let's go check that out.
We will be reviewing the Lucent as well. That will be a recorded video, though. Scary stuff, isn't it? Maybe there's a rogue mod out there blocking people. I would think it would just be YouTube.
Yeah,
Like,
you have to actually, right click, and then it's not just a matter of like hiding the comment. You got to block the user. Maybe it is a mistake. I don't know.
But then again, like on a phone, it's really easy to accidentally do that to someone. Like I've nearly like hit the wrong buttons a few times on
Well,
your.
maybe that's all it is then.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen very often. It's probably that's what it is then.
Pete, what's a Bancroft?
Well, I mean, is that his Pete Samedi?
I think if a mod blocks people, it only blocks them for their own view, not for the entire channel. I don't know, George. If George knows more than everyone else in the chat about this certain topic, I don't know what I can say. That's some crazy talk. It was probably somebody angry about the trivia Camel. I saw that, Bancroft, the bait and switch by Camel. That was
that not last week, because not last show, that was actually good. The one before that was Death, and he was like a real villain, cackling. Like he's a cross between all the Batman villains all together, and he was genuinely getting pleasure out of watching us suffer, and he was the only one laughing. But he found it hilarious.
He had different answers based on what people said. Yeah.
Yeah. He says that was just a bit. He is Batman's worst villain, the cackler. Exactly.
I know. Like, I actually don't mind the Camel Night show.
Why do you say it like that? Like it's a guilty pleasure or something. It's a good
show. It is a little bit of a guilty pleasure.
It's not for George.
It does need some sort of filter over Camel's laugh, though. Like,
no, that's the best part. That's the hook. That's the hook. We need the Camel. It wouldn't work without that laugh.
Right. I'm going to read something about I'm Not Starfire. So if you've had enough of I'm Not Starfire, it's time to go get a drink or something. But this is on Reddit. It's got 5,400 upvotes. So I think it was on the front page. Basically, a lot of people have seen it, and a lot of people have liked this comment here, which is about, last time I checked, there was about 4,500 people like this comment, right? So I'm going to read it to Michael. He can give me his thoughts. You can give me your thoughts, and we'll go from there. The subreddit, George, I explained that to you the other day, is called Out of the Loop, which means they don't understand what's happening. What's up with the controversy surrounding the I'm Not Starfire and the death of the American comic book industry? Answer. I'm Not Starfire is soon to be released young graphic novel by DC Comics, which is not part of their main superhero universe continuity. DC summarized the plot and graphic novel as follows. I'm not going to read that. It's not important. Much of the conflict here is less about the graphic novel in particular and more about this is a major symbol of DC and Marvel are making an active effort to market to young women and other minority groups, something that an active group of adult male comic fans strongly dislike.
Is that us?
I'm assuming. Yeah, my mouth is really dry, George.
That's what we don't like about it, that she's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
And minority. Okay.
And minority. Yeah.
I'll keep going. Examples of this have having minority characters taking the identity of a major hero, generally by having the existing straight white male hero retire or die, or revealing that the characters who had previously been portrayed as straight were actually gay by having them come out of the closet, or introducing new minority characters. In this case, it's having an overweight female lead in a graphic novel, as many of those fans who dislike DC and Marvel's current approaches feel that this is both alienating the traditional fans who prefer the characters like Starfire, who in the comics is known for having supermodel looks, and that it is pandering to an audience that they don't believe will actually buy comics in the first place. Some of those
that
critics,
part's true.
Some of those critics who dislike DC and Marvel's attempts to reach a more diverse crowd are mocking the character of Mandy by claiming she's the daughter of the Penguin rather than Starfire. That's actually pretty funny. Because they don't like the idea of a superhero model heroine having a daughter who isn't likewise a gorgeous knockout, and are comparing her to the overweight Batman villain instead. What do you think so far?
That sounds funny. Yeah, I like it. I think that's an apt. I think whoever made that observation is making a good point.
As for
Has
manga,
someone done a DNA test?
As for manga, yes, manga sales in the US have been beating traditional American superhero comics for many years now. Mangas like One Piece or My Hero Academia often sell a lot more in the US than Spider-Man or Spider-Man. Some of those critics of DC and Marvel feel that this is because superhero comics are no longer being targeted at them as the primary demographic. Others feel that the real issue is that DC and Marvel superhero comics are too hard to get into, with complicated backstories that date back to the 40s, and in some cases, and unlike manga volumes, which are numbered and easy to follow, superhero comics can involve major events that happen in someone else's comic that you need to read to figure out what's going on, or multiple comics featuring the same character with no clear order of which to read.
Sounds like someone's been watching our streams.
What do you think,
what
George?
we've been talking about.
Do you think that's pretty accurate?
I think George fell asleep.
No, he's still there. He laughed at Biter-Man or Spider-Man. I've got thoughts about this. The evil culture wars shot fired. They're coming for the kids. It's got nothing to do with our demographics. I wasn't listening. Sounds well thought out post. What are they talking about? Just read a comic and calm down. It goes on and on. I don't know if I can get through the whole thing, Bancroft.
Probably a good idea. I think we're losing the chat anyway.
Well, it's actually going up, surprisingly. At the Replicator tweeted you fan art response to not Starfire. All right.
There's a guy out there called Forced Adversity, who I've watched a few videos on. I think the purpose of his channel is to expose Comicsgate as a grift and a scam and bigots and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, he has it's very funny, these guys who they say they're all about subtlety and you guys see everything in black and white. He sees this whole thing in black and white. Like Comicsgate bad, not Comicsgate good. And he's like, everything that we do is exactly like was described there. We don't like this because of we don't want women or minorities or whatever in comics. And they really are well and truly living in 2017, back when people cared. No one cares anymore. That's what they don't understand. Like, no one actually cares. We're laughing at it, yes, but we don't care anymore. We've moved on, just like everyone else, just like 99% of the Western comic book reading market. We've all moved on. We're doing something else. We're reading something else. Some of us went on to back independent books, but most people just left and don't care anymore. And that's what they don't seem to get. Like, there's no one over here trying to cancel I'm not Starfire or whatever. Because we don't care. Why would we? You know?
Yeah, it's something we laugh at now.
Exactly,
Make fun
and then they want to make out like, oh, the reason why it's getting backlash is because of Comicsgate. I mean, I know they didn't mention Comicsgate, but that's the only reason they didn't mention it is because they Voldemort it. They mean Comicsgate, because they stopped watching in 2018 when Ethan started making serious money. So they couldn't stand to keep up with what's happening in Comicsgate. It would be too painful to watch. And anytime anyone just points out, oh, this book made this much, and there's a lot of them. It's all a grift. It's all a scam.
Model V says the worst was what Shane showed. They're making t-shirts celebrating what they're doing. Yeah, that was pretty rough. Jose Garcia's got to head off. See you, mate. Bancroft gives him plenty of ammunition when he starts talking about K levels. Kona Blend 36. Hello.
That's a dog whistle, Mo. Don't let them in on what it means.
Ryan Cardinal says, we cared, we were concerned, we got called arseholes, and now we're doing our own rad shit over here. Let them have it and ruin it all. It's what they're best at.
Yeah, we cared for a long time, longer than we should have. We should care. We should have cared, but when it comes to a point where you're just banging your head against a brick wall and nothing's happening, and in fact they're actually putting out stuff to spite you for caring. It becomes a point of insanity to worry about the latest. Let's own the MAGA's comic book that comes out.
What's the end goal though for them? I don't get it. Like, because it's not making
the end
money.
goal is to ride the hollowed out husk of the comic book industry till its last step, and then move on. Western comic books compared to manga is dead. It's done. It can't be resuscitated. You can't resuscitate that industry with when there's a behemoth of an industry functioning right opposite right over the road. It's over as it was. It'll go into something else. Obviously, the form, the medium of comic books, putting images on comics, won't go away. The characters themselves are still popular in culture, despite the fact that these guys couldn't sell their way out of a paper bag. So I don't know what it's going to morph into, but yeah, I mean, the end game is there's these people, I call them parasites, because they've occupied a host body and are eating it from the inside out and walking around in its skin. They'll just continue to do that until, I guess, they get fired. And there's they go into work one day and the doors are shuttered because there's no more money. Eventually, you run out of other people's money. Yeah, it hasn't been about selling comic books for a very long time. So and that stems all the way back to the introduction of the direct market. The monopoly of Diamond in the comic book stores and everything. Anytime you do that, you take away competition, market forces. You're on a slippery slope to nowheresville.
Like, put all the agendas aside for a second, right? Put all the reasons why they're doing it, everything aside just for a minute. Look at the art. That's why a lot of us are into comic books, for the art. That's what we love about comics. It's meant to be a visually beautiful medium. Like, how boring does this look? How uninteresting. And then you look at like Starfire.
Well, obviously they're going for a very different demographic.
Yeah,
but very different appreciation. Well, you got to. I mean, Rob, there's people who look at this and say, "This looks like, porn for 14-year-olds.
Yeah, but Bancroft, when we were 14-year-olds, right? This is what we liked. We like stuff like this. We like dudes with muscles and guns and stuff that blew up. Who wants this? What 14-year-old goes?
No,
Yeah,
not many
man.
people. I don't think so. Well, it's not made for that. I mean, this is made for 35 to 55-year-old wine aunts who live alone with their cats. Are there enough of them out there to buy books? Probably not. But then again, it's not about selling books. It's about the reaction that they get when they put that out. It's about showing some corporation somewhere, look how progressive we are, and being able to leverage that foot in the door into some other industry. On top of that, Sumo Thor is right. It is the most egregious and obvious self-insert in the history of self-inserts.
You guys focus in on all the wrong stuff. It's not a periodical. It's a graphic novel for Grandmaster Gift.
That's right.
It's about changing the culture. I hate that. I hate the direction of it. I do. I don't like all the agenda stuff. Why they're doing it. I don't like it.
Yeah, but it's not for you, Rob.
But I don't care.
Remember that article about Charlie's Angels? Was it Charlie's Angels? This movie isn't for you, straight white men. And then a month later, why aren't any straight white men going to watch Charlie's Angels? It's like that. That's what it is. They don't want you. If you like that old Starfire art, they don't want you reading their books. They do without your money, thank you very much. Because you're toxic and you're not the right kind of reader. And you gotta. I mean, we can have this discussion, and it won't be anywhere near as good as RJ on the Fourth Age. He's dissected all of this in these brilliant video essays, and he's gotten to the bottom of it with evidence, and he does research, and he wraps it all up. It's brilliant. Anyone who's interested in any of this stuff should check out his videos, because he'll do whatever we're saying, a million times better. There you go. Jasper's on the ball. He's obviously, he knows a lot too.
All right, we'll get to that in a sec. I'm very grateful to the Replicator and Bancroft for the Western style comic books they are producing. It gives me hope that comics will live on. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, George. Thank you all for backing our books too. Like, without you guys,
thank you, George. And I want to say, I don't think Western comics will go away. They will morph into something else. It remains to be seen what that's going to be. No one can predict the future. I'm highly optimistic with what's going on here in crowdfunding. I think this is a seed being planted in the soil that could spring something beautiful in the future. It's very rare to have optimism like this in an industry that's, seemingly on its last legs.
There's a new Charlie's Angels. Was it good? It wasn't as horrible as you would think it would be, George. It wasn't.
But
as
they
horrible
did. In the part of the marketing was they actively said, "White men, straight white men, this is not for you. Like, we didn't make this for you." You missed Jasper's comment up there. I talked over it.
The one I brought up before.
Yeah.
You were talking.
No. Read my other comment, Rob. It's about creating SJW sensitivity readers. Yeah. It's like it's too hard to be competitive and compete with manga and TV and video games. So they're much better off just going through the motions and getting themselves individually into positions where they can have careers in some other industry. I think that's what's happening now. Everyone working in mainstream comics, that's where they're at now. They're all looking to the horizon, trying to figure out what's the thing I can do now that's going to best leverage my future in some other more profitable industry.
Ballon d'Or. You know what I'm optimistic about? Arc Athena launching middle of September. Yeah, 15th.
That book.
That's
I
going to be interesting, Bancroft, because he's doing it a whole different way to what
want
we're
to
used
say
to.
it. I want to say it. I'm gonna say it. I think Arc Athena is a game changer, and I know that's a pretty cringe thing to say,
That is
but
super cringe.
I really think just the art, the guy, the way he's doing it, if it lands right, if he can pull it off, I think it could be monumental. Essentially,
I talk with Eric quite a bit, and the thing that strikes me most is like he's not here just to get people's money and leave. Like he's putting effort into this. He's putting thought into this. He's getting feedback. He's hiring great people to be on his team. The book looks fantastic. I can't wait to see what he does. And he's working on issue 5 already. So he's got 4 done. So it's going to be really interesting. Really interesting. Yep.
and it looks phenomenal. I haven't seen a book look quite like that ever before. So I think he's melding certain things together in a way that I don't think I've seen before, which is very exciting. I hadn't the last person to get me this excited about the look of a book was Charlie Snogans on Fatal. Now that's running late. I don't anticipate that's going to happen with Eric, considering he's getting them pretty much mostly done before he even launches. Really, I like to say when I see the books like this, it's like I want the book to make me question my life choices. Like, why did I waste time developing this style when I could have been doing this? Really phenomenal stuff.
He and Charlie have a similar style. They're both very fluid and dynamic. It's more fluid and dynamic.
I love it because I don't understand
realistic.
I don't know how. I don't know how it happens. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know. I wouldn't have the first clue how to replicate it.
Ooh. You said it.
Hold on. God, it really is a great looking book. And
fantastic looking book.
Man, Aaron and your colorist actually, and your printer, brought it all together very well.
Fantastic.
I'm going to give you that one.
He was talking about book 6 last time he streamed because that the final book ran so long. He's also releasing it in hardcover format. He is, yes. Do you know how many pages he did last week, Bancroft?
Eric?
Yeah.
Drew?
Yeah.
No. Tell me.
While working a full-time job and having a pregnant wife. Do you want to have a guess how many pages he did last week?
I don't want to guess.
Do you want to have a guess in chat? Do you want to have a guess in chat? How many pages Eric Kennedy drew last week?
I will say, because you're asking, I'll say 4.
Replicator 2 is my favorite crowdfunded comic book of all time. Thank you, George. I really do appreciate you saying that. No, you're not even close. Do you want to have another guess? Anyone in chat?
No, I don't.
Anyone at all? Oh, here we go. They all came in. They came in 12. No, that's too high. 1, 17. That's ridiculous. No, 10 pages close. 7 or 8. You want to narrow it down? You might win. 5, 4. For the real reason that Replicator 3 is late is because Rob is taking time away from it to learn how to read. It's not going well, but I admire the attempt. 4, 3.4, 16, 14, 375 minus 2, 7, 6, 8. 8 pages, Bancroft.
I mean, it's berserk. I don't exist in the same universe as Eric Kennedy. I'm not like it's a weird thing that people put you up. Are you a creator? He's a creator. You put out a book. Like I'm not in the same universe as that. I don't understand it. It's not. You may as well have said he did 10 million. Like it doesn't compute.
And
it's like what Kirby used to do, you know.
His style is really quick. He's really fluid. You can make all those points, but still 8 pages in a week is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely crazy. I think we're going to wrap it up there, Bancroft. We've gone over 5 minutes, which is
You told
crazy.
me
Crazy
you didn't have any
no
whatchamacallits today.
topics.
Topics, but I think we did really well. Do you want me to share the? I know I've been sharing a lot of pages. I don't. I don't know.
Can you see my hair?
Oh, look at that!
Look at that!
Brilliant. You go, no! Oh, Rob.
Oh, okay, hang on.
Full screen that. You're gonna go full screen. Give the people. Now he's putting it on backwards.
Mate, I am like Christmas. I am a gift that just keeps on giving. I don't know if it's going to be the same. Oh, yeah, it's pretty much the same.
It's not as good, but it's okay. Go full screen.
Full screen.
Give the people something they can. It's not as good. Next time.
I look like a douche hipster.
I wanted to say, did you want me to share the page I'm currently working on?
Yeah,
I know
man.
I've been sharing a lot, but I've been figuring out this effect, and I think I've gotten it down pat. I was a bit confused for a while, but I think it's here.
I'm going to give the people what they want. Hang on. That's fantastic. Oh yeah, dude, it's looking sick.
So yeah, I do the effects first because they sort of govern the lighting. You know, they'll influence the way the light works. And plus, I did that lightning effect on the sword, and it uses a similar thing, but it's a different application of it. But I think it came out really cool, and I can't wait to see this page done. And he needs some good sparks here on his whatever, where it's been ripped off. I think that would look really cool. It's fun. It's fun doing this. It's so different than the Lucent. But,
man.
I feel like I'm learning a lot, and it's going to look rad.
It's gonna look really good. I talked about it before you got on. It's not ideal. I hate being late. Like, it actually stresses me out. But having you do this, it's going to make the book just look so much better. It's going to look incredible. It's going to look like a real proper comic book. So I can't wait.
It's what we hope for.
yeah, exactly.
We want to release real proper comic books.
I really like that negative effect. Corey did that on the bottom of the mech, like the inverse effect. I think that looks really cool as well. So yeah, but yeah, great work, man. Really fantastic. Cool. We're gonna wrap it up there, and as we always say, actually, I just want to check on the chat. What did you like about did you like my mohawk?
I don't think they said anything. I think they were just being nice.
Triple mohawk. I like it. It was the triple hawk, tri-hawk. Why you messed it up? He put his helmet on backwards. I did. Wasn't that great? Eddie Winkler's just got here and we're shutting up shop. My black rimmed glasses would help the look. A douche hipster. Is there any other kind? No, there's not. George likes it. Go watch Sling Blade, you bogans. During the time Bancroft spent on that page, Eric did 12 pages. You're probably not far off, mate. You're really probably not. I hate Rob being late too. All right, yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. Final words, Bancroft?
No, I'll let you all know how I go with the printing of the 12-pager. And that's it. I think I have 10 or 15 head sketches left to do. I can do that as fulfillment goes.
You're nearly there, Matt.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, everyone here, I know you all, so I don't need to say subscribe to the channel or anything. Just hope you enjoyed the show, and look forward to next week.
A little bit of exciting news, Bancroft. When you finally hand in that final
yes.
final mail package of the Lucent to the post office, we're going to meet up and we're going to do a shoey outside the front of the post office.
And we'll be arrested for taking off our masks or something.
And we'll live stream it. So that'll be hilarious. Everyone, make sure you hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as we always say, go and back something. It doesn't have to be the Replicator. That would be fantastic. It doesn't have to be the Lucent. That would also be fantastic. But go back something. Keep it going, guys. And you guys are awesome, and we appreciate you coming at this, ungodly hour. A shoey, George, to explain it for you before I hit the end broadcast button, is you get alcohol. You open the alcohol, you pour the alcohol into a shoe, you drink it from a shoe. That's a shoey. That's
course.
it. So we're gonna do that. It'll be great. And man, I can't wait for you to fulfill and finish Bancroft, because for me, that's one of the two best feelings in comics. The first one is getting the comic book in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the second is when you've sent it all off at the post office and you're done.
Yeah,
you can relax.
until you get some returns or missing things or whatever. But I get your point.
That's easy to deal with. Who's running? Hey, we might use designer shoes. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but we'll do it. All right, guys. Thank you all. Catch you all later. Bye.
See ya.